my luck, and I'm much better off when I'm totally drunk. I know one of these days my time will come, but until that, they give me a bottle of rum.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park News. I am your host, Triskelion Trinity, here with a few important updates in movie news. Now, as we all well know, Captain Marvel did arrive in theaters on March 8th and had quite a bit of success on its opening weekend, opening up to $154 million domestically, and that success did continue into its second weekend, but a lot of that was overshadowed by the fact that Marvel Studios did release the Avengers Endgame trailer, to which we got many theory videos, and of course, you haven't seen mine yet, but it is coming up. Also, in movie news, it was announced that James Gunn would be returning as the director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, this in itself did spark quite a controversy amongst fans, as many kind of have mixed feelings about this, and I can tell you, for one, I definitely do have mixed feelings about James Gunn coming back to direct this movie. But, There's a whole lot of things that we could say about this. But also in movie news, in case you didn't know, on March 25th, Apple Incorporated is going to be having a big summit in its Cupertino, California headquarters. They're going to be meeting with a bunch of studio executives, like directors like J.J. Abrams, M. Night Shyamalan, and even Steven Spielberg, coincidentally. Now, there are other actors that will be involved with this as well. Some of them are actors and even like movie producers and even directors. Some of these include Reese Witherspoon, Brie Larson, and even Chris Evans. Now, this meeting is about their upcoming streaming service that is meant to basically compete with streaming services like the upcoming Disney Go service and even Netflix. Now, Apple has been in kind of a slump with its iPhone sales, and doing this for its investors is, while probably a good thing, will not really make their stock prices spike up anytime soon, as it does take money to produce these these streaming service series and even things like that. So if you're an investor in Apple, you can look forward to maybe your stock price dropping a little before it begins to be back on the rise. But I haven't really been keeping track of their stock market lately, as I'm no longer an investor in Apple, but I did used to be. But I can tell you their stocks have largely been pretty good and consistent, and I'm not sure how it's doing right now. But this upcoming service is meant to compete with the upcoming streaming services. Also, in other movie news, I did notice that once again, We've Got This Covered is once again back up to their same old tricks with a bunch of clickbait articles that we are sure to see a bunch of clickbait videos following in its steps. Now, the chief amongst these was a revelation that Chris Hemsworth is apparently not going to be in the MCU following the Avengers Endgame movie. Now, I'm not exactly for sure that this is true, and as a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say that it's not true. Chris Hemsworth isn't one of the actors that has been out there saying that he's done with the MCU, and as a matter of fact, I think he's said that he'd be quite happy to continue in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I myself have long suspected that maybe at the very beginning of the Avengers Endgame movie, maybe not at the very beginning, but somewhere in it, I've kind of been speculating that maybe Thor is the one that dies. For one, I just think it kind of comes out of left field, especially considering all the success of Thor Ragnarok and the progression of this character in the movies and even Chris Hemsworth in the role. I, for one, actually really enjoy him in this role and hope that it actually does continue. But I have actually suspected that maybe he would be the one to get snuffed out somewhere in the film. But going along with this, I do have to say that this website we've got this covered is once again just spreading bogus stuff. You can go to the article where it says, you know, typically on all their articles, they list their sources at the bottom. Most of them include sources like comicbook.com, which is actually a pretty reputable site. And then many of them coming from sources like Twitter and even Reddit. And we all know how reliable Reddit is. I mean, getting your news sources from a place like Reddit is laughable at best. And anyway, like I said, I don't necessarily believe what they're saying here, especially when you consider their source that they do list in here, not at the bottom of their article, but in the article itself. They specifically say a source close to "we got this covered." And I can tell you one thing, their sources probably seem to be somewhere, you know, maybe along the lines of like my next door neighbor, or even the homeless guy standing in front of Walmart begging for change. When they say that they've got a source close to "we got this covered," I honestly don't believe that it's anybody more credible than the people that I just said. Now, as far as anything else, they do have a bunch of other articles that, you know, that they do have good sources for. Like I said, a lot of them come from comicbook.com. And if you're going to go to sources like "we've got this covered," why don't you just chase down the source of the information where they're getting their stories from? I mean, it makes for a lot better story, and you can actually find out what was actually said. Going to sources like this, where they're just kind of regurgitating news or don't even have sources, is exactly where we get all the controversy surrounding movies and all the bogus rumors regarding these movies. Like, you know, regarding Brie Larson's comments about middle-aged white men and her not caring what they think and going to her movie. It's complete bogus. Now, while she did say those things, kind of taken a website channel called Those Damn Skits. Those Damn Skits are a few friends of mine who have just recently started a YouTube channel, and as you can tell by the name of their channel, they are going to be doing various just kind of little, that is Those Damn Skits. I will make sure I leave a link in the description of this video. Thank you all for tuning in to Street Marvel today.
Leo.